Alright friends, welcome back to the channel. I just wanted to share something real quick with y'all, just a little bit of good news, because I thought I was going to have to put everything back together. So anyhow, basically I went on a road trip recently, and it was after installing these new amp power running boards, and I was having an issue where the front passenger door was not deploying the steps, but the rear one was every time. So my first thought was maybe the door jamb sensor was messed up because it wasn't triggering the dome lights as well. So I went ahead and ordered these through Rock Auto. It's this thing right here. That's the part number. Feel free to pause and screenshot if you need. But anyhow, what I was starting to despair about is, so you take this off the door panel. It's got a little plastic thing right here. You pop that off. There's two 7mm. There's two more right there. Then you can just gently lift that up. So after you take this speaker off, which is going to be sitting like that, it's got two locking tabs right there that just fit into those slots, and then the speaker wire itself is right there. So you take that off, then you can lift your door panel up. What I did is, this was sitting, it's going to be like that, it's kind of glued, and unfortunately, unless there's a better way, I haven't found out how, but you cut this. I just used my pocket knife and cut this plastic, just kind of gently folded it back. Since my truck's almost 10 years old, it's a little bit crumbly, as you can see. Got pieces of it on the ground. Anyhow, once you get that done, what you're gonna need is, these are 3 T27 Torx bit screws. Take those out, and once you do this, will kind of fall down. And I was starting to panic a little bit because, let's see if I can get you closer up. There's not a lot of room at all to work on this, and that's the slide for the window right there. So what I did is, this is the lock. I went ahead and took it out. It was setting in this right here. It's just a little kind of soft rubber plastic piece. Just gently undo that. That'll let this go free. I reached back here. It's kind of hard when you have large hands, but I reached back here and unplugged the door jamb sensor. That created a little bit more room. This cable right here, let's see if I can show you. It had some little yellow, hopefully you can see that, little yellow push tabs that just go right here and right here. I just use these channel lock pliers to, once again, gently press in, push those in. That freed up some more room. And then from there, I was able to pull this out just enough. It's kind of hard to do with one hand. I apologize if it's not the best demonstration, but there's going to be another connector on the bottom right here that I left plugged in. There's enough slack in the wire. I felt confident I wouldn't break anything. And so just kind of show you what I can see when I'm sitting on my stool here. I was able to pull this. Sorry, that was the door jamb sensor. So I was trying to have it in there to show you, but the door jamb sensor is going to sit right in this hole right here. And I'm gonna reach down in here and grab that thing. Sorry, I already took it out previously, but I was just trying to show y'all. But this is the old one. It's a little crusty. No wonder it wasn't working properly. But from this angle, it's gonna be, let me pause. Let me just set this back in there so I can show you what I'm talking about. Okay, sorry about that. It kind of fell out whenever I was adjusting that. So this is what you're able to see when you have all those things loosened. I didn't want to mess with that thing because, as you can see, it's on a, if it'll focus, it's on a set point, and I didn't want to risk forgetting which tab it was on. But anyhow, so you'll see this, and I wasn't sure. I kept looking at this for reference, and I noticed they had just a little tab on the top, And with that knowledge from this angle, I was able to put a flathead screwdriver. If it falls out, it's okay now, since I showed you what it looks like. But I was able to just get this flathead, put it right in here, and just kind of, once again, gently twist and pry it loose, and it popped right out. So now all I gotta do is put this new one in here, get it plugged in, and we should be in business. So give me 1 second, let me see if I can get that new one in here, and I'll be right back. All right, nothing is more satisfying than that click of when the part gets installed. I'm once again sorry I could not have shared that with y'all, because I was sitting here finagling with this thing, trying to get it figured out. So to install it, what I did, I'll use this as a demonstration. I put it in from under there. Once again, this sucks because there's just so little room to work with. But I put it in there like this at an angle, and then you rotate it this way, and this little tab broke off when I was taking this one out, but you rotate it and it'll click in. And if I can get some light in here, I don't know if I'm gonna, so yeah, that little notch in that black piece right there is where that tab sits. So put it in, rotate it to clockwise, and it'll snap in, and now we've got a nice secure connection on it. So all I'm gonna do now is just put all this back together, and then get the door itself put back together, and we will test it to make sure that it works. Now, one thing I was going to mention real quick is while you've got it freed up like this, now's a good time to go ahead and put that connector back on. While it's that one in the back right there, that gray one, while you've got all this extra wiggle room, because like I said, trying to reach in between this window slide guide rail and this sucks when you have large hands. So just something to think about. Go ahead and do it now. Get that clicked in so you can just put everything back together. All right, so we got the lock mechanism lever. It's putting it back in place. It just goes right in this white plastic thing. This little rubber plasticky piece sits on top of it, just locks it in place. This cable right here, like I said, these little plastic tabs just go right there. So everything is back in place. Now all that's left to do is put these 3 T27 bolts right here, just to secure the actual mechanism in place, and then we will be well on our way to another job done. So to get these off, I had to use my 1/4-inch cobalt impact because these have some Loctite on them, but I don't know torque specs on these bolts, and like I said, since they've got some Loctite, basically what I'm going to do is just get them hand tight and just maybe give them 1 or 2 ugga-duggas, just make sure they're not going to go anywhere. We're just going to leave this on setting 1, just give it a little bit of encouragement to stay in place. Good enough for me. Okay, so from this point, that's it. That was the hardest part. Taking the door panel off, super easy. Like I said, it's just those 4 bolts. And then on the back side, just in case y'all have never seen the back of this before, it just has these hook tabs right there, all along the bottom. And then right there, you're just gonna set those into place in the spots, and we're going to put this back on, plug that into here, and then last step was to put your speaker back, like I said, right there, snap that in, plug it back in. But real quick, let's go ahead and see if this works. I didn't want to edit this out so we can all laugh about it together if it doesn't work, but let's give it a try. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Sweet. So now there should be no more intermittent working with that being replaced. So thanks for watching once again. as always, just let me know if you have any questions, and I'll do my best to answer them.